Hi, Carrie Berkey here. Today I am sharing with you 6 livelihood guidelines for a peaceful life. The reason I'm sharing this is I received these in a yoga class maybe 15 years ago, and I had cut it out. This is a new design that I created, and I taped it next to the mirror in our bathroom. And I've lived at a couple different places since then with my husband, and seeing these while you're kind of brushing your teeth, washing your hands, had an interesting and profound effect on the two of us. And I wanted to share them with you. And I want you to know to take them kind of with a grain of salt, because at different points in your life, these will seem more accessible. Okay, so we're going to go through them. So the first one says consume mindfully. And then there's just some tips underneath. So next one is eat with awareness and gratitude. That's under consume mindfully. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do this all the time. I mean, hello, that would be amazing if every time we ate, we did so with awareness and gratitude. I want you to have this serve as a reminder. I now make it an intention to at least once a week have a meal by myself, not on a screen, not even reading anything, just in the moment. And also trying to encourage my children that they don't always have to, I think these days we're always trying to do something while we're doing something else. And just let this be a reminder to take some time to just eat and really be grateful for the food that you have. Okay, so this next one says pause before buying and see if breathing is enough. So I will be honest, when I first read this, I was like, yeah, that'll be the day that happens. Well, fast forward 15 years, I've actually gotten pretty good at this. And I mean, I love shopping, but I've gotten good at figuring out, why am I shopping? Am I about to buy something I already have? Am I about to buy something I don't need? Am I about to buy something to buy something? Am I trying to fill something that just feels uncomfortable? Because a lot of times that's why you're buying something. So this one, like I said, it took me 15 years, so don't put too much pressure on yourself now. But again, this is supposed to help you just kind of plant the seed, for you to think, why are you buying that? So again, this comes under consume mindfully. Next one under consume mindfully is pay attention to the effects of media you consume. This is a big one. I feel like we take stuff in, listen to podcasts, listen to the news, watch the news, read the news, even watching TV that has violence and, I don't know, unsavory characters in it. And then we just kind of go on about our day, and we're not always making the connection for maybe why we're in a bad mood later, why we're tired, why we're cranky, why we're short with people, that it might have to do with the effects of what you've been watching, what you've been taking in. So try to notice the kind of cause and effect there, how you feel after certain things. And if you don't like how you feel, then look into changing the first part. Okay. The next guideline is pause, breathe, listen. So it says, when feeling compelled to speak in a meeting or conversation, pause. Okay, this will be another one. I'm a chitty chatty gal. I used to be really uncomfortable when things would be, just be a pause in the conversation, and you might totally know how that feels. But so this is, we're always trying to put our opinion in, or even trying to make other people feel comfortable, by not having that awkward pause. But this one, you bring it into your life. I mean, for one, it kind of sets you up to almost be a little bit more coming off as wise, that you don't always have to fill the space, that maybe you're actually really kind of paying attention to what's going on. Let some of the thoughts even simmer, and that you can follow back up later. This one is a little tricky for me. I'll be intrigued to hear how you felt about it. Okay, so next one is breathe before entering your home, place of work, or school. Huge. Okay, if you follow me at all, I'm always sharing little breathing tips. Anytime I'm feeling out of whack, I just stop and take a deep breath. So this is nice. So I share different types of breathing techniques where you're counting down, where you're using your fingers, and you don't always have to do that. So to remember before you're entering a place, and if that's in public and you don't want to do it like really right before you're opening the door, considering doing it in your car before you go in. If you're on the train, just pausing and taking a deep breath. Get back like to you. It's really what it helps you do. It's really kind of magical. Okay, let's see. Next one here. Listen to the people you encounter. Okay, so I think I used to pride myself on being such a good listener, but I also realized that half the time I was like waiting to share my thoughts on what they were saying and really not just kind of holding the space for them, really letting the person talk and maybe just doing it without judgment, holding the space for them to share their opinion. I mean, this is for everybody. I mean, whether it's friends, whether it's the barista at Starbucks, it's kind of fascinating just to let them talk and to really kind of make sure you're listening. So you can tell all of these things can help you slow down a little bit, not always feeling like you're kind of on to the next thing. Okay, so the next guideline is practice gratitude. So first thing under here, it says notice what you have. So honestly, I feel like this kind of ties back into that pause before buying, because when you start to notice what you have, then you are a little bit better at shopping and being more focused on bringing stuff in that truly matters, that you truly need. So make a point of taking time to notice what you have right now and then express some gratitude around it. Okay, so that says be equally grateful for opportunities and challenges. We all know this is a hard one. I feel like so often you share like how grateful you are that something good happened, and I'm going to suggest to you to try to be grateful for when challenges happen too. I mean, if you take a moment right now and thought about the challenges that have happened to you and what you've learned and how you've grown and how you handle life better, how you are more grateful for certain things because of it, and kind of use that as a trigger that when another challenge pops up in your life to be like, okay, I'm grateful for this, something good's gonna come out of it. So a nice little shift in mindset there. Ooh, I love this next one. Share joy, not negativity. Oh, I mean, it sounds easy, but how often do you get caught up just being catty, gossipy, complaining to people like, oh, I don't like that, and oh my gosh. I feel like it's easy to do that and feel like you're just connecting with people and you want to find people with a common bond, but just energetically it doesn't really feel good if your bonds are based on negativity. So I notice when I share more things that bring me joy, I'm going to start making some really cool connections with people that we both get joy out of the same thing. I mean, and that can just make your life just so much more amazing. Okay, moving on. Cultivate compassion and loving kindness. So you can tell that sounds Buddhist. So under here it says, notice where help is needed and be quick to help. Okay, I'm going to preface this though a little bit with, if you watch the news, it seems like help is needed everywhere. That be mindful to not feel overwhelmed by this and not to make this what you do, feel like it's your whole existence, that you leave yourself second, but just to be mindful, where can you be helping? A big thing that's nice for this is I like to work with, asking the universe, your guides, maybe you work with a spirit animal, and asking them to show you where you feel like you can be the most help. Okay, consider others' perspectives deeply. I feel like in this day and age, you probably relate that when you go on, you watch the news, social media, they're like, nobody's doing this. Nobody. I mean, it's not nobody, because we're just being shown a lot of this. And that's something to remind yourself of, that you're being shown just kind of one side, and you are being shown a lot of people not respecting or listening to somebody else's viewpoint. And then when I get annoyed by that, then I have to watch myself. And you gotta try to watch and make sure you are considering the viewpoint or perspective of those people who choose not to also openly. That's a challenging one. But again, this is not for you to like live all of these daily to the hilt, because that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. What it is that it's nice that when you have these moments in your day, like I said, this is in my bathroom. So it's like, for me, that's like morning and evening to pause and again and be like, oh, did I do any of this today? Or how can I practice that tomorrow? So keep that in mind. Okay, last one under this, it says, work for peace at many levels. Like a lot of time, you know, there's two big things. Like you feel like inner peace and then world peace. So there's lots of levels in there, between there. So think about, you know, peace in your home. How can you contribute to that? Peace in your community. What are ways you can contribute to that? You can think globally. I have a mantra, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, and that's where like may all beings everywhere be happy and free. And that is just another way for you to kind of more put it out to the world. And then for yourself, how can you create peace for yourself? So reminding yourself all the levels that you can be working at. Okay, fifth one is discover wisdom. So cultivate a don't know mind. So like I was mentioning before, like when you're listening to somebody and you're just ready with an answer, this is kind of nice. Instead of kind of having the answer, to be more curious, ask questions. Even when it's something you think you know about, allow your space in your mind, in your energetic field, to know that you don't know it all. Because really, I mean, everything's just a mystery around us. We don't know it all. So this is a really nice reminder. And honestly, if you can kind of have this don't know mind, then I don't know, like there's less arguments, there's less letdown, there's less, you can be like, oh yeah, you know, well, I know I don't know everything. So kind of not too surprised that that turned out a way I wasn't expecting, because everything is a mystery. Have fun with that one. Okay, so find connections between spiritual teachings and your life. So I think in the original version this says Buddhist teachings. I've seen one where it said yogic teachings. But notice, like if you have a spiritual religious practice, try to make some correlations between, you know, what you're reading, what you're hearing, what you're practicing, and how it fits into your life. If you don't really have a practice, you're still kind of getting information, even through social media, through books you might have, through email lists that you're on, and just enjoy all this information you're receiving and take some time to kind of see how it connects in your life. Okay, last one under discover wisdom is to be open to what arises in every moment. Okay, so one thing about this that I mean, it's amazing. So when something arises in a moment that is unpleasant and you don't like it, a lot of times we have the tendency to go forward or backwards. And meaning forward going, I can't wait till this feeling is over, the situation's over, or backwards going, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid, or I can't believe I did that to make this situation happen right now. The thing is neither of those places, past, future, forward, back, like help you. So this is just a really good reminder for you to, okay, this is what it is at this moment. I would suggest asking for help. Again, finding what brings you peace so you can handle it a little bit better. I mean, if you want to think like, how can you make sure that you're not in this situation again? So, you know, be open to, you know, new ways of thinking and new paths that might be showing up. Okay, so the sixth livelihood guideline for a peaceful life is accept constant change. This one is a biggie. And I remember when I first read it, it was like, "Oh, no, I just don't want to." And now that I'm older and I can see that, oh my gosh, everything is changing all the time. I mean, whether or not it's, like I moved back to my hometown, like how much has changed here? And then like when I go back to Chicago, how much has changed there? And you might have similar things like that. Think about your body. How much of your body has changed? Your relationships. So be mindful when you're trying to keep something like the same. Like I'm a mom now. I mean, I have your kids, like they have changed. Your parents have changed. And to think like that can kind of help you a little bit to be like, oh gosh, yeah, everything is constantly changing. We don't want to always accept that. Again, that's why I'm having this printable for you, so you can have a reminder to be like, that's right, I'm accepting a constant change, because that is just how the universe works. Okay, I hope you cut this out, hang it up. If you do, snap a picture, send it to me, tag me, and let me know in the comments if there's any one of these you think you might be working on. Okay, enjoy your peaceful life.